I recently tried to buy a new car in Brazil and I was shocked. And the most shocking thing was the prices. And just to give you a few examples of the prices of cars here in Brazil. So I'm Swedish, and we Swedes, we love to buy Volvos. I mean, yeah, a few years ago we used to love buying Volvos and Saabs, which in the past were both Swedish companies, but now Saab has shut down and Volvo has become Chinese. But Volvo still have a special place in the heart of many Swedes. So if we have a look at a small Volvo SUV, the XC60. So here in Brazil, it costs about 460,000 reais, which is $85,000. And for me, that's a crazy amount of money for a Volvo. I mean, in the US, you can buy the same car for about $48,000. And in Sweden, you can buy it for $42,000. So the price of the Volvo is practically double in Brazil compared to the US and Sweden. And there's no way I'm going to spend $85,000 on a Volvo. And if we look at a less expensive car, so like a Toyota Corolla, so in Brazil you can buy a basic one of these for 164,000 reais, which is $30,000. While in the US it's about $23,000, and in Sweden it's about $25,000. So again, it's significantly more expensive in Brazil compared to the US and Sweden. Now the prices I mention here are the price of new cars. So obviously if you buy a used second-hand car, it'll be less expensive. But the same applies there, that in general the prices of used cars in Brazil are higher than the prices of used cars in the US and in Sweden. And if you're asking yourself why are cars more expensive in Brazil, one of the key reasons are taxes. So sales taxes on cars in Brazil are very high, especially if the car is imported and not made in Brazil. So I found this article here saying that taxes on cars in Brazil are the highest in the world, and they range from 48% to 54%. Now on cars that are imported like the Volvo, taxes can be even higher because then there's high importation tax and then sales tax. So that's why the Volvo is so expensive. But then on cars that are made in Brazil, like the Toyota Corolla, there the taxes are a bit lower, but still they're very high. So when I saw these high prices of cars in Brazil, I said to myself, there must be a way of getting a car for a more reasonable price, which obviously doesn't mean breaking the law. And then I thought about car auctions, because I've been to a few car auctions in Europe, and you can find some good deals there. Obviously, there's also a risk of being totally screwed if you're not careful. But if you are clued up, you can get a good car for a lower price. So I did some Googling and I found a car auction on the outskirts of Porto Alegre in the southern state of Rio Grande do Sul. And the name of the auction house is Pestana Leilões. And I saw that they were planning to hold a car auction in a few days' time. So I decided to head down there to see what cars they were auctioning off. So I arrived early in the morning, around 8:30, eager to check out the cars. And you can see the auction place here. It's just a big car park in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by farmlands and cows grazing. And then inside here in this building here, they parked all the cars that are coming up at auction. And these cars here are a mix of carros retomados, which means repossessed cars. So the leasing companies or the banks have repossessed the cars because the car owners have fallen behind on their payments. And then you also have carros sinistrados, which means damaged or stolen cars, which the insurance companies are selling. And you can see it's a real mix of cars. You've got hatchbacks, sedans, SUVs, pickups. So let's have a look at the cars that caught my eye. One of the first cars I saw I thought was interesting. It's a Nissan Kicks, which is a small SUV. This is quite a popular car in Brazil. I see it a lot on the road. And it's relatively new as well, 2023. And it looks in good condition as well. You can see here on the side there's a dent and a bit of a scratch. Apart from that, it looks good. And if we look inside, it looks nice inside as well. And the mileage is 39,000 kilometers, so that's good. The opening of the current bid is 70,000 reais, which is $12,900. And there's this website in Brazil called Fipe, and they show the average sales prices of cars in Brazil. So I mean, everyone refers to this website when they look at what they should pay for a used car. So if you look at that website, it shows here that the average price for a 2023 Nissan Kicks Sense model is 98,000 reais. So that is $18,000. So currently it's about a $5,000 discount on this car if you buy it at the auction. And obviously the auction hasn't started yet, and this price will probably go up as people bid on it. So yeah, this is an interesting car, but I think there will be a fair bit of interest on this. And you can see that the pre-auction bids are already pretty high at 70,000 reais. So I think this might just sell at only a small discount to market price. And let's keep looking. And actually the car next to it is pretty cool as well. So it's a Mitsubishi Lancer, 2 liter from 2016. That's a pretty cool car. I think the boy racers like this car. I mean, yeah, it's not the Evo model, which is the quicker one, but it still looks pretty cool. And it's got a big spoiler in the back as well to make it look more sporty. The current bid is 37,000 reais, which is $6,800. If we look at the Fippy, it's 61,000 reais, which is $11,200. So yeah, this isn't the car for me, but it's pretty cool. So I think this one also might be popular at the auction. I think a fair few people will want to buy this, make some modifications, you know, drive around showing off. So let's keep looking. On the other side, you've got a Jeep Compass. And so Jeeps, again, very popular here in Brazil. So Brazilians love their Jeeps, especially the Renegade and the Compass. So let's have a look at this. It's got some damage, you can see. I don't know what's happened here with the trim of the car. Maybe this was a car that was broken into, maybe. And yeah, it looks pretty dated in here. Nah, this car's too old. And our next one, we've got a Mercedes A-Class. That's it, it's a 2015 model. So it's a bit old, it's nearly 10 years. It looks nice, it's in good condition. The current bid on it is 41,000 reais, which is $7,500. And if you look at the market value, it's 82,000 reais, which is $15,000. So yeah, can't find anything wrong with this. Yeah, my question would be if it's a bit too old, because it's 10 years old already. But the mileage is okay, it's 90,000 kilometers, so it's not too bad. And then we've got a big Chevrolet Trailblazer here, 2012 model, it's diesel. That looks pretty good. Now there's a small bit of damage, but not too much. Let's have a look inside. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, a bit dated, I guess. And then some sort of dirt or whatever it is on the carpet there. But yeah, it's okay condition. And the current bid is 54,500 reais, which is $10,100. So yeah, I would say this is interesting, but again, it's a bit old, this car. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable buying such an old car. And then we've got a Range Rover Discovery. So this is a 2018 model and it's diesel. Yeah, again, looks in good condition. It's got a scratch here on the side though. But apart from that, it looks good. And the inside looks very good as well. Current bid is 64,800 reais, which is $11,900. Oh, but the mileage is very high, 178,000 kilometers. So someone's driven this a lot. And then we've got some pickups as well. So we've got a Ford Ranger pickup here. So it's a 2018 model, diesel as well. So this looks in good condition as well. The cabin inside is nice. And the current bid is 58,700, which is $10,800. So yeah, this one's interesting. And it seems like others are also interested in this one. I have got another Jeep. This time it's a Renegade model, 2015. Also looks in good condition. It does stink a bit inside though. And that's one thing I haven't mentioned because there was a big flood in Rio Grande do Sul last year and lots of cars were flooded. So buying a used car here in Rio Grande do Sul, you need to be careful that you're not buying a car that got flooded last year. And I'm not saying this one is, but it does stink a lot. And then there's lots more small cars. So I mean, this one here, the Renault Kwood, I think this is one of the cheapest cars in Brazil that you can actually buy. This is a 2021 model. Mileage is 56,000 kilometers, so that's pretty good. And the current bid is 26,800, which is $4,900. So if you're after a cheap car in Brazil, the Renault Kwood is pretty good. Oh look, I found a perfect car for me. Oh my lord, how old is this? I don't even know what make it is. It's a Volkswagen Parachi from 1987. So the car's 38 years old. Let's have a look inside. Oh, the door doesn't even open. Let's have a look on the other side. Oh my lord. Okay, so the door is falling off. And then if we look inside... Oh my lord, look inside. Let's have a look at the price of this. Oh, so the opening bid is 250 reais. which is $46, and no one's made a pre-auction bid on this one. So it'll be interesting to see if this actually sells. I guess someone would buy it for parts, I guess. And what else is there? And then we got some other really damaged cars here as well. So I mean, these have been in some serious accidents. And this one's here kind of been in a crash, and then it's missing the engine as well. Again, I don't know what model this is. I mentioned earlier about going to this FIPE or FIPE as they pronounce in Brazil website to check the market value. Another good thing is to go to these websites that show the history of the cars. So that will show if it's been in a major accident and had lots of work done to it. And there are lots of these websites. One's called Check Tudo, and that one's called Busca Sing. You type in the registration plate and then they show you the history of the car. But you do have to pay them to see the whole history of the car. But that's definitely worth it, especially if you're buying at auction, just to check the car hasn't been in a major accident and it's been totally rebuilt. Oh, but one thing I haven't seen here are electric cars or hybrid cars, because that market is growing rapidly here in Brazil. You've got big brands like BYD and GWM from China aggressively entering the Brazilian market, and I'm seeing more and more of these cars on the road. I mean, I personally think it's a bit early to buy a fully electric car, especially here in the south of Brazil, because there aren't that many charging stations. I mean, the charging stations I've seen, most of them are at shopping malls. And then there are a couple of charging stations on a couple of motorways, but it's not a lot. So for me personally, I think it's too early to buy an electric car, because it's very difficult to go on a long journey here and find a charging station. But hybrid cars are interesting actually, because you can benefit from the electric side, but then if you're going on a long journey, you still have the petrol engine in case you can't find a charging station. Also, another thing to consider, which did not enter my Swedish brain at all until my Brazilian wife mentioned it, and that is how popular the cars are with criminals. So in Brazil they say carro viciado, which means that criminals like to steal that particular model. And so you've got various lists of the top cars that are stolen. The problem with this is that the cars that have the most units stolen are usually the ones that are most popular and have sold the most units. But then you have other lists like this, which is the rate of theft per 100,000 units. So this list is totally different, because the first list is basically loads of small hatchbacks because they sell the most. But as you can see, this list here is totally different. So you've got Toyota Corollas, which are a bit more expensive. You've got Hyundai Cretas, which is a small SUV. You've got the Jeep Compass as well, which is an SUV. And so the thinking is you shouldn't buy these cars at the top of a list, because then you have a bigger risk of having your car stolen. I mean, yeah, not all Brazilians consider this, but it's something that my wife always likes to look at before we buy a new car. Okay, so out of all of them here, I would say my two favorite is the Nissan Kicks and the Ford Ranger, I would say. It's probably the two that will have the highest amount of interest as well. But let's see what happens. Okay, so now I'm back at home, and the total auction is online, so you just go and look at the vehicles, but then you have to make all the bidding and everything online. And now the Nissan Kicks has come up here. You can see the current bid on the top right there. So you can see the current bid is 70,600 reais. But below that you can see all the auction costs as well. So you've got commission, which is 5%. So that's another 3,500 reais. You then have operational expenses, which is 1,900 reais. So if it sells at 70,600, the actual price you have to pay is 76,000 reais. Okay, so it's sold for 73,500 reais. But then the final price that that person had to pay after all the expenses is 79,000 reais. So that is $14,600. So yeah, that person got a bit of a discount. I mean, the market value was 98,000 reais. But it did have some dents and scratches on it, and it's getting close to market value, so I didn't put a bid on it. And here's the Mercedes. Current bid is 43,500 reais. One thing I did miss here is that it says chave quebrada, which means broken key. So that sounds a bit complicated. So let's see what happens with this one. Okay, so this one didn't sell. And I assume it's because of the broken key. So maybe it's really expensive to sort out another key for this car or something, I don't know. And then there's the Range Rover Discovery as well. So that sold for 80,500 reais. And so the final price after expenses is 87,000 reais, which is $16,000. So that's a fairly good discount market price, but it did have a very high mileage. And obviously the market price is just an average So I assume the market price of this one would be lower because of the higher mileage. And the Mitsubishi was sold for 47,000 reais. So the total price after expenses 51,000 reais, which is $9,400. So like I said, I thought that would be a pretty popular car. And the Trailblazer was sold for 73,000 reais. So that total cost 78,000 reais, which is $14,400. And the Renault Kwood was sold for 31,700 reais. So in total 35,500 reais, which is $6,500. That's a pretty good price for a small hatchback, which is not too old. And then the Ford Ranger, I didn't see that. It also has chave quebrado, broken key. So yeah, I'm not bidding on that because I first need to work out how much it costs to sort out another key for the car. Okay, so that was sold for 86,700 reais. So the total cost is 93,000 reais, which is $17,100. So that's a pretty good discount if it doesn't cost too much to sort out a new key for the car. Okay, so that was my first car auction in Brazil. In the end, I didn't place any bids on any cars. I didn't think any of them were that interesting. And I just need to do a bit more research about certain things before I'm willing to make some offers. But yeah, car prices in Brazil are pretty high. But there are some ways of managing to get a car for less money, like going to these auctions, but it's not for everyone. And there's some big risks that you might actually lose more money than save money if you buy it this way. So I hope you like this video. Please leave a like, subscribe. If you've got any comments or anything, leave in the commentary below. So thanks for watching. Until next time.